as Ryan was alluding to, what's your mindset right now as you getting closer and closer before that chase starts? What's a mindset right now of a person like yourself who's won 5 in a row?
Well, I mean, I think regardless of what any driver or team has accomplished in the past, you're always focused on where you are today. And the success we've had over the last 5 years doesn't guarantee anything for this year's chase. So we're living in the moment, we're living in the now, worried about what we need to do today to win races. And when I look at this weekend's race and the success and the speed that we've had here over the last 2 or 3 years, I'm excited to come back and excited to be here. I feel that we'll qualify well and have a shot at winning the race. So I'm excited. I would love to have another win for the bonus points and also what it does for the team morale, the confidence it gives the race team moving forward. Any momentum you can build now is very helpful in the chase. And I say that in the back of my mind. I think of years where we've entered the chase pretty far off, much further off than what some critics say we are now, and we've still won the championship. So it's not that you have to win, but there's nothing bad that comes from it. And we're here to win the race this weekend.
All right, we'll take questions. We'll go with Jeff, then we'll go over here to Shannon. Go ahead.
Jeff Foote of Racing Today. Jimmie, a lot of empty seats at Michigan, a lot of empty seats even here back in the spring, but I understand that they're very close to a sellout here for Saturday night. What is it going to mean for the sport to play in front of a full house here this weekend?
It's important everywhere we go. In Bristol, I think the spring race here was an eye-opener for everyone. And since then, and really it's been going on for a while, the track owners, the sport, the drivers, everybody is trying to understand how we can create a better value for the fans. And I see a lot of tracks that I've been in partnerships with where we've made opportunities available for the fans, for kids. I'll be doing a question and answer thing that's relative to a ticket package tomorrow for the race here. And I'm proud of the tracks, and I still think there's a long way to go. And some tracks just aren't familiar with the way the times are now, and we're almost educating them on what's a good value, how to go about it, how to use social media, how to really reach the fans and create a value for them to come out to the tracks. So I think everybody's focused on it and knows that if there aren't eyeballs on our sport, we're not going to have the success that we need. The sponsors aren't going to be here, and our sport won't be as strong as it needs to be. So long answer to your question, but happy to hear that we're near capacity, and hopefully we get there before the start of the race tomorrow night. And moving forward, I think there are new things coming that are drivers, the tracks, everybody involved is trying to reach out to the fan and make sure that they have the best experience possible.
Let's go Shannon, then we'll go Mike, and then Dustin.
Shannon Spake, ESPN. I actually have 2 questions for you. I know there are a lot of engineers in that garage. The chase, when you look at it, is it as simple as a formula, as consistency in the first 26, turn it on for the last 10, and those are the ones that truly matter? Is it a formula to win the championship?
It can be, and over the last 5 years, people have used that formula, if you will, to put with our championships, and that we have kind of had that approach. And I've always sat up here and said, we're giving 100% every week, and it's more coincidence, and it really is. I mean, we all sit back and look at an average finish over the chase races and say, you need to be better than that or do that to win. We all know that, but doing it is a totally different deal, and it's very difficult to pull off. So we do look at those markers, and I think any good team sets goals and expectations, and you rally your team around it and put that yardstick out in front of the team and say, we need to do this to be in contention, and you build around that. So we are all doing it, but who can really pull it off is really is where the magic is.
And my second question is, when you look at the 18 of Kyle Busch, considering what he was able to do last weekend and the races that we have coming up before we start the chase, does he seem to be peaking right now at the right time? And do you look, he could possibly have the points lead going into the chase. Do you think right now he is your biggest competitor for the championship?
We're all looking for direction as to who the standout favorite's going to be, and it's just tough. I mean, before Kyle's win, everybody was talking about Brad, and people still are talking about Brad. I've seen some things where we've kind of been floating back to the top as a favorite, but no one knows. I mean, those 10 races are so different than anything else we do. The points are on top of one another, and the wild card guys coming in could be the favorites. You just have no clue until we get in there. But Kyle is fast. He always has been, and we'll just have to see how those final 10 play out.
Let's go Mike, and then we'll go to Dustin, and then this gentleman here.
Hey, Jimmy, Mike Neff from FrontStretch.com. As you compare this year to your last 5 from a mental and physical standpoint, how do you feel that you are coming into the chase about where you were? You better off? And also, now that you're about a year into this fatherhood thing, has that changed your approaches to getting ready for the chase?
Mentally and physically, I feel great and ready, prepared. Mentally, it's been challenging at times through this year, trying to find speed. And in years past, when we've been off, and I think 2008, we were able to go test and sort through our problems. And it's been a very tough exercise this year without testing to develop our cars and to find the speed. But where the real brain teaser comes into play is we haven't been happy with our performances each and every week and the consistency we've had, but we're second in points. So, I mean, we're doing fine. And we need to, once we get to Richmond, start over with a clean sheet of paper, don't carry any baggage into the chase, and look at those 10 races as a whole new season and go at that point. So, this year has been odd for everyone. Guys have been warm for a period of time. No one's really gotten hot and stayed hot. And I think this year's chase is up for grabs. It's going to be an interesting 10 races. When I look at fatherhood and being prepared, it is so tough being away from the family week after week. And here through the summer, my wife's had some plans, and my wife and daughter haven't been on the track, and that's been tough mentally. I was sitting in the bus at night. It is such an amazing experience, and I want to spend as much time with my daughter as possible. And now as we're getting close to the chase, there's more work around it all and more time away from home. So, I'm hurting a little bit in that front where I want to be around, and she's developing so much. But at the same time, this is what the whole year's about, and it's time to get to work and focus on it. So we're working hard to keep the family together as much as we can here through the chase, just so that I'm buttoned up top to bottom mentally, and we can go racing from there.
Let's go Dustin, this gentleman over here, and then Claire.
Dustin Long, Landmark Newspapers. After the New Hampshire race last month, you were critical of your team and group at that point, saying things needed to get done heading into the chase. You still got a few weeks to go. Where are you guys at? What more needs to be done these next few weeks?
Yeah, after the frustration we had through the race there and some of the stuff on pit road, and even kind of from a strategy standpoint, we sat down, made adjustments over the wall, worked harder yet, didn't know it was possible, but the reps, if you look at the truck race, we had our guys crewing a team. Look at the nationwide race, our guys have been crewing the 38 team. So we're developing these young over-the-wall guys and getting them the reps they need. So we've made up, I think, a lot of distance on pit road in a short period of time. And we've seen this ability in these guys, otherwise we wouldn't have made the decisions we did to start them and work with them. So we're getting close, and I'm very proud of the progress that we've made there. And from a pit calling strategy for these races, track position, as we all see, is so important that people are, the old risk, I think we had a risk-reward kind of thought process. It's just changed. It's moved. I mean, there's a lot more risk taking place at the end of a race and trying to stretch fuel mileage, worrying about 2 tires versus 4. So the game has changed there, and I don't think that we were on top of that change as much as we have been in the past. And we had so much success doing it one way, but it moved, and we needed to catch up with that, and we've done a very good job of that here of late. And you look at the call Chad made at Michigan to get us the lead. I mean, that's the type of risk you have to take now to have a shot to win a race.
How comfortable is that for you then to change? I mean, obviously you're relying on Chad to make those calls, but you've still got to, you've got some input. You can obviously say, no, let's not do this, or I don't want to, I feel comfortable, something like that. How do you have to change your mindset in this?
It's tough, and I don't want to confuse Chad or influence his decisions, and I've always been that way about pit calling. He'll ask me every now and then, and most times I say, "Hey, buddy, that's what they pay you to do," because they have such a better perspective of what's worked, and they're also scanning the other teams and have an idea what the masses on pit road are going to do. So it's a concern for me, and in the back of my mind, when we're approaching pit road, am I staying out, coming in, fuel only? I'm stressed at that level. But the engineer and the crew chief, those guys are, they're stressed to the max every pit call, especially at the end of a race. And I'd say not only for the 48 team, but really every team. I mean, everybody is making very aggressive calls.
Take a couple more. We'll get this gentleman right here, and then I think Mike had one. Did you? Oh, you didn't. This gentleman right here, and then we'll finish with Claire. Go ahead.
Hi, Jimmy. This is Ed Coons with Gator Racing News. Things happen so fast here. Can you talk about how important patience is, and is this a type of track where you lose your temper quicker than you would somewhere else? Things happen faster.
Yeah, patience are definitely important, but there's a fine line because the leader comes so quick, and if you're deep in the pack, you've got to go. The leader beats you before you know it. So to stay out of trouble, I mean, patience does factor into that, but to me, it's really being aware of your surroundings. And you can watch guys in front of you, especially in front of you, and how hard they're racing, and almost anticipate when something's going to happen. So looking ahead, looking wide, being aware of what's going on around you is really important.
Final question, Claire, go ahead.
Claire B. Lang, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. To win a championship, how volatile can you be? Can you be someone who's volatile in the truck series and comes over? You've shown a little volatility lately, that emotion. Can you have that? Can you have more of that and still pull off a championship? And how have you dealt with that sort of in the head?
Sure. It can be won any way. And I guess if you go back through the champions of our sport, you'd probably look at a Bobby Labonte and think, or Dale Jarrett and think, low on the volatility level. And you look at Earnhardt is probably at the top. I mean, there's a lot of years he really just didn't give a rat's whatever to what was going on and was taking care of issues at will all the time. So it can be won anyway. I mean, there's no set format for it.
I think you said a year ago that I think your crew chief said if you were able to be more yourself, maybe let that come out, it might even help you. Does it help you to have more emotion now, do you think? And do you try to stop that in your head, or do you think that it's okay and to win a championship that way?
Well, I think the letting those emotions come through does more for the public view and perspective of our sport than anything. There's an environment that exists on the racetrack, and we, as everyone knows, we all police that world with our helmets on and inside of our cars in a certain manner. But when you get out of the car, our sport from Sunday to Sunday, or especially the first few days of the week, if you watch any of our race shows or listen to your show or anything on Sirius, it's about who said what. And there's a whole thing building about the tempers and who said what and how they did it and what went on that is entertaining to watch and be a part of. So that side is probably what Chad was speaking to. And I've always taken the high road. I've always been concerned about what went on the track and not what took place off of the track. And I still, for a large degree, am focused on that. But through being involved with social media and being more connected to the fans, there's a side there that you need to. I've needed to have a presence to defend myself, to defend my fan base, and then to speak my mind when need be.
Jimmie, thanks a lot. Good luck this weekend.
Cool.